Good morning, guys and gals. What is happening in your world? Hey, I'm gonna try to go fishing today. There's been a lot of rain. I may get rained out today. Surprise, surprise, I know. We've had so much rain lately. We just had a tropical depression move through the southeast. It dumped 4 inches of rain where I live, just east of here, over in Northport. They had flooding, I think, where they've never had flooding, flash floods. I don't know how much rain they got. I would guess for it to have done that, 8 to 10 inches at a minimum. But last week, no tropical depression, we got 13 inches of rain. So we've had more rain here in the last 2 weeks than some places get all year, than a lot of places actually. But hey, it is what it is, and we're dealing with it. I'm headed to Lake Tuscaloosa today. Lake Tuscaloosa it's a difficult fishery anyway. There's so many tournaments that are held on it, so much fishing pressure, so many pleasure boaters, jet skis, that sort of thing. Of course, it's not that bad during the week. I don't go near it on a Saturday or on the weekend for that reason, but it's probably going to be in really bad shape as far as the water. It's going to be up and muddy and that sort of thing. But you know, the fish are still in there, so I'm going to get after them, go over here and see if the weather does hold off. I just got a notification, risk of severe weather in your area within the next 24 hours. Seems like we get those about every day. But hey, can y'all see me, by the way? Can you see me okay? How you like this shirt? I got a new shirt for Father's Day. I love it. It is not orange. It is not orange. It is bright coral. I think is fiery coral, something like that is the name of it. So anyway, had a good Father's Day. I was out of town singing. I was gone for the whole weekend. Went to see the Kingsmen up there on Friday night with the pastor that I was with Sunday morning. And then Saturday morning, we had a church fishing tournament. And I'm pretty sure I really helped Brother Jack lose that tournament. We did not win, but we had a ball. And then yesterday was our homecoming. Pastor Jack Roberts at Maryville Baptist Church in Louisville, Kentucky. He's been the pastor of that church, y'all, for 53 years. Tell me that's not dedication. As I go down the road here on Highway 86, there's a giant oak tree being cut out of the road, and that has fallen during that tropical storm we had come through. No surprise, because the ground is so saturated. All it takes is just a little bit of wind and trees start blowing over when the ground and the roots are that saturated with rain, and the trees are heavy as well. So, but anyway, I don't think we had any damage or anything like that around here. But I had a great time up there in Louisville, and I got home late last night. Well, really pretty early. I got home about 8:30. So I got to see my dad on Father's Day, and I got to get what my kids in Kansas had put together for me, some little goodies, and if you can believe it, a few fish baits. It was a blessed day. I hope everybody had a happy Father's Day, no matter when you'll be seeing this. I'm sure Father's Day will be long gone. Woo, those creeks are out of the banks, folks. It's going to be interesting today. I just hope I get to launch and don't have a monsoon. I don't mind the rain. I'm ready. I wear these nylon shorts and shirts, and you can be soaking wet and make a run in the boat and dry out pretty quick. But Rice Krispie treats, extra buttery, extra marshmallowy. That's the breakfast champions right there. It's no big deal if my boat gets wet. It's been wet before, and it's kind of wet now. Even though it's been parked on the carport, where it stays out of the weather, it must have been doing some sideways raining, because the carpet looked pretty wet this morning. Oh my gosh. Chocolate Cocoa Pebbles Krispies. I'm gonna try a cotton candy lizard. I was made a believer out of this lure this weekend. I was not using that, and most people were. And I'll let you guess who caught the most fish. It wasn't me. This hook's a little big, but that's all right. See what we might can get going out here this morning. Go down this bank and drag this lizard through this grass. Again, the lake is up. There'll be a lot of grass that's under the water. There ought to be some bass laying in that grass, feeding on all these new opportunities that are created by floods. They get to go into places that they normally can't access because it's dry ground, obviously, and search for crawfish, bugs, worms, you name it. Fishing these floodwaters has its disadvantages, but it also has its advantages. The water's very muddy, so you can get away with heavier line, even throwing straight braid if you feel like it. I think I've probably got a 20-pound fluorocarbon leader on here. I'm going to dip the tail of this lizard in some Spike It garlic scented and chartreuse dye. In about 15 seconds it'll be dry, ready to cast again. Now, that doesn't look like much out here, but it glows in the water. Kind of like my new shirt. Just saw a fish jump where I just came through. I'm up here and it's just solid lily pads. It's extremely shallow. I'm gonna try throwing an old scum frog out there. Blowing something in here. A little choppy for top water, cloud cover, otherwise kind of ideal situations for it. Fish. What happened? I lost my spinnerbait. It was a nice fish. Well, I'd been using that spinnerbait a long time, and that spinnerbait actually broke because this knot is perfectly intact. Nothing wrong with the knot or the line. Spinnerbait broke. That was a nice 3-4 pound bass right there. Good news is I have more white spinnerbaits. Alright folks, we're back in action. This is actually a little bit of a different color, but I think it'll be just fine. It's got that same big silver willow blade on it, and then a smaller gold willow blade. It's kind of a shad color, but it's plenty bright. And I put that chartreuse trailer on there and a trailer hook. Let's see if we can't do that again. Finally one in the boat. Oh my goodness. You got the main hook. Nowhere near as big as that other one, but I'll take him. About to rain. I may get ran off. I'm going to get onto this dock. Thank the Lord for this. I believe it's going to pass over. We'll get to fish some more. Let's go fishing! It'll be fun, they said. Can y'all see me? Yeah! Do you ever wonder what this little thing on these type shirts is for? Ha! Just can't get a bite on the swim jig. Can't get much of a bite, period. But the only thing I've had any bites on is that right there. So I'm going back to it. I'd like to catch one more fish at least, and then take off before these storms start back up. I have straight up had the worst luck today. Not the worst, but it's been bad. I just had a really good fish running with that. Set the hook and just pull back, nothing. Got a break in the clouds out here. A little nice sunshine. I'll take it. I'll take it. Heat and all. What is up, HLS gang? Hey, thanks for tuning in today. Today was a tough one on the water. I've had worse days because I've had days when I caught 0. Today, I caught 1. I had a nice fish on. All I can surmise is that the spinnerbait actually broke. I had caught quite a few bass on that spinnerbait, and it would get out of shape every now and then, and I would bend it back so that it ran straight and such. So when you do that, it's a wire, and when you're bending it a lot, I didn't really think about it, checking it, but you definitely need to change out a spinnerbait ever so often. Kind of check it like you do your knots. But I had the fish on and it jumped. Whole fish came out of the water. I don't know if it's on video or not, but it jumped, and when it did, I thought it just threw the bait, but it didn't. Instead, just the line came back at me, and the knot was perfect. Nothing in the line was broken. So that's all that could have happened, was a spinnerbait. Actually, just the wire just broke. And then I had another fish on. It was a kind of an odd day. I had another fish that I set the hook on, and I just drew back line. It was like I set the hook on a knife blade or something. I don't know if the knot failed or what, but it was a Palomar knot. Not very likely that it would have just slipped like that, although that braid on that particular reel, I normally use a leader, and that braid on that particular reel is very slick. I don't know if I think it's either 20 or 30 pound, maybe Power Pro braid, but it's really, really slick. So I'm thinking that knot just slipped. It just slipped out. Anyway, that was another fish I lost, and I had a real small fish. I hit a spinnerbait, but it came off too. I saw it. It was just a tiny little fish, but kind of a weird day. So I guess I had a total of 4 strikes, We managed to get one of them in the boat. It's getting to be that time of year where the fishing is going to get really tough. The bass are going to scatter out, get deeper. I was fishing shallower today, up next to the bank, throwing in that grass. The water was up because of all these floods we've been having. And as you saw, we had more today. Thank goodness I was able to get under that dock. Whoever lives there, thank you. I don't know if they would have appreciated it or not, but maybe kind of one of those deals where what you don't know won't hurt you. So I was out of the storm, out of the big heavy rain, and it was lightning a little bit too, but good Lord kept me safe. But that made me think of the story of Noah. All these rains that we've been having lately. I won't get all these facts right, but Noah worked on the ark. I'm pretty sure it was over 100 years. And you got to remember, at that time, it had never rained. People had never seen rain fall from the sky. It says that the dews came up and watered everything. And so God spoke to Noah and told him that he was going to send a flood. It was going to rain 40 days and 40 nights. He had to gather all the clean animals up 2 by 2, or maybe that was the unclean animals. I don't know. Certain animals he gathered 2 by 2, and then other animals that they would need for food, I think. So that would have been clean animals. I think it was 7 by 7 maybe. Anyway, look it up. The point is still not missed in the details. The point is that it had never rained. God destroyed the earth with water, which will never happen again, by the way. He made that covenant with us when he sent a rainbow. The rainbow has been hijacked today. It's being abused by a group, well, many different groups. I don't even know what all the letters are now. People don't even know what their correct pronoun is anymore, or which bathroom they're supposed to go in. That's the bunch that hijacked the rainbow. But that rainbow is still God's sign to mankind that he will never ever destroy the earth with water again. So our scripture regarding that today is from Genesis, the first book of the Bible, chapter 7. This is kind of morbid. Verses 21 says, "And all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of fowl and of cattle and of beast, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and every man, all in whose nostrils was the breath of life, of all that was in the dry land, died. And every living substance was destroyed, which was upon the face of the ground, both man and cattle, and the creeping things, and the fowl of the heaven, and they were destroyed from the earth, and Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark. And the waters prevailed upon the earth 150 days. For 150 days, the entire earth was covered in water. He will destroy the earth again, but next time it'll be with fire. And that'll be it. That'll be it. But can you imagine when it started raining? I heard a pastor, I heard a sermon on this recently that I really enjoyed. He did a great job of painting that picture. He spoke about how all throughout that 100+ year time when Noah was working on that ark, you know, he'd go to town, he'd run to Lowe's and get some more lumber, or wherever they went back then. Well, he had to use a certain type of wood. He did everything just exactly as God instructed him to do. Every nail, every splinter, I believe that. But when he would go into town for this and that, hey, there's crazy Noah. There's old psycho Noah. You know, I'm sure they had many nicknames for Noah. I'm sure he was ridiculed and made fun of. He believes some man in the sky is gonna send water to just fall out of the sky and drown us all. And so he's building a boat. He thinks that boat would protect him. I wonder what they thought when they saw all of those animals just doing what Noah told them to do and lining up to climb on board the ark. Did they think he was still crazy? Did they think for 100 years maybe he had been practicing to be some type of animal whisperer and it was just some strange phenomenon causing those animals to get on that ark like he was telling them to? Or what about when it first started raining? I wonder if it just started sprinkling or if the bottom just fell out like it did on me today. But when it first started raining, what went through their minds? Did they even think of Noah? I don't know. You know, mankind can be kind of slow, can't we? Look at the children in the desert. They saw God. They saw all these miracles happening, from Moses parting the Red Sea to you name it. Yet they would still doubt. Think of the rich man in the example we're given. When he died and opened his eyes in hell and was in torment, and he prayed to God. You know, there'll be a lot of praying in hell. Those prayers won't be answered. But he prayed to God, would you send one to tell my brothers about this place? And God basically told him, well, you know, they wouldn't listen to me. They're not going to listen to one I send. So they may have never thought of Noah, even when it started to rain, or maybe when the water started to rise. People started going to higher ground. Their homes began to flood. Think about a mother holding her child as those waters rose on her. Don't you think they started trying to beat that door down on that ark? Noah, please open the door. Noah, we're going to die. We're going to perish. We and all our friends and family and our children, we're going to die. We're going to drown. Noah, please open the door. I'm sure that happened. And as that preacher illustrated that, Noah probably from up on a deck on that ark looked down and said, I'm sorry. I can't open the door. I didn't shut the door. God shut the door. And there was no opening it from that point. Our lives are just like that. One day, if we take our last breath here, that window of opportunity, that door on the ark will seal and close shut tight forever. There will be no more opportunities to invite Jesus into our hearts. Should God send Jesus back while we're yet alive, we're not ready. When that trumpet sounds, the door will be shut, sealed forever. No more opportunity to accept Jesus Christ. You know, the world makes fun of us today, just like they made fun of Noah in the days of old. Following, serving, and loving Jesus Christ has become something taboo, even here in America. Oh, everybody has gods. Everybody has a God. Everybody prays. Everybody says, oh my God, when they get in trouble. When they get in trouble, everybody calls out to a God. But only Christians call to Jesus Christ. Help me, Jesus. I plead the blood. And He hears us. And He answers our prayers. I hope and pray, wherever you may be right now watching this video, that you know that heaven is going to be your eternal home. If not, get in touch with me, get in touch with a trusted friend, or
pastor. Let us help you learn how that you can know that you have eternal life in heaven. I really started this channel in hopes and prayer that it would be another way to reach just one lost soul. If I do this a year, if I do it 2 years, if I do it 5 years, if I do it 10 years, if all I ever have is 100 subscribers, or if I have 100,000 subscribers, if one soul comes to the saving knowledge of Jesus Christ, then it will all be worth it. Hey, thanks so much everybody for watching this. I appreciate it more than you know. As I always remind you, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. All you have to do that is have a free YouTube account. Go to YouTube, create you an account. It's absolutely free. And you subscribe to the things that interest you, and that will be on your home feed of your YouTube account. And if you like the video, go ahead and click that little thumbs up. And if you'll click the bell that you see there, you'll receive a notification whenever I post something new. Hey, be watching every Tuesday morning and every Friday morning at 7 o'clock. I'll be posting new content as long as I am able. May the Lord bless you. Remember, God loves you, and so do I. Bye.